Sunday, February 8th, 10:08 a.m. New York time. Welcome back, investors, to Winning Wall Street's Money. You might have heard past Friday that the Dow Jones Industrial Average Stock Index made a record all-time new high. But let's uncover the truth. The stock index has 30 companies in it. Not all of them made record new highs. We'll go one by one with each. This is the companies. This is a watch list on the left-hand side. This is the company's alphabetical order in the stock index. 9 of them record new highs. 2 of them had made record highs prior month, the first month of this year, and they're trading back below it. 19 still trading below record highs from far back as 2018. Show you the charts. This is the 10-year chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So looking at the top right, you can see, we took out the high of last month. The trend has been up. The trend has been up prior years, prior administrations, making new highs those past administrations. You see, most of the companies in the watch list closed green. That's just representing that one day in time from the open to close. A further look, which we'll do side by side of each company to compare them. This stock index, Dow 30, is managed by a company. That company periodically replaces companies, stocks in this index. So from the creation of this stock index, it is not with all the same companies in it for a number of reasons. Some companies were accumulated, merger or acquisitions, and other reasons, such as those companies no longer maintain the requirements to be listed in the index. And most recently, the past several years, this index changed a policy of only having companies that were on the New York Stock Exchange listed in it. They went progressive, and they included stocks from the NASDAQ Stock Exchange listed in it. Those are the stock symbols that are 4 letters or more. So again, the basic of it, the past years, changed. That being said, the NASDAQ 100 has a lot of high-tech companies in it, and those high-tech companies, several of them were put in this index. We'll look here first. Apple. It's below the highs of last year, underperforming the stock index. Amgen, all-time new high. It's not technology. Amazon, below the highs of last year. See this orange vertical line? That's when it was added to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That was back in 2023. American Express, below the highs of last year. Look at Boeing, below the highs of 2019. So if we were to take this company off the index prior years and put it with a company that's outperforming or equal performing the index, sure, the index would have been even better in growth, faster. Caterpillar, all-time new highs. Again, not technology. Salesforce. We are trading below the highs of 2024. Plus, we made a new low this year. Big difference in the stock index, underperforming. Technology, Cisco, all-time new high. CVX, below the highs of 2022. Disney, way below the highs of 2021. Yeah, we also made a new low for the year. Look, That red candle was the high of January, and here we are, trending down, underperforming. Goldman Sachs, prior month, was the all-time high. So you see, majority of the companies I'm showing you so far are underperforming the index. Only a few of them help the index. That's a divergency. Home Depot, below the highs of 2024. Honeywell, all-time new high. IBM, the all-time high was last year. Johnson & Johnson, new high. Do you see it? Majority of the technology companies are not leading the index. Different sectors, again, are outperforming the index. JP Morgan, last month was the all-time high. Coca-Cola, nowhere in technology. Yeah, all-time new high. Doesn't mean these companies are going to maintain this status for the whole year. Simply shows that investors have gravitated investment capital out of what used to be the go-to growth stocks, and now they're going to defensive stocks. McDonald's, all-time new high, took out the high of last year. 3M, way below the highs of 2018. Merck, yep, below the highs of 2024. Microsoft, new low for the year. Look at that, took out the low of last month. Still below the highs of 2025. Nike, manufacturer, retail, way below the highs of 2021. Underperforming. Just like I said, with Boeing, as well as here, Nike, and several others, if we had taken them, if the leadership that manages the Dow Jones Industrial Average were had taken these companies off the index years ago and put more positive companies, the index would have been outperforming earlier. Yet these companies are dragging down the index. If you want to know how to beat the index, outperform the index, that's my other videos of stock sectors. Outperforming the NASDAQ, outperforming the S&P 500. Another technology. Orange vertical line was when it was added to the index and below the highs of last year now, underperforming. Plus, we took out the lows of last month. Another technology failure. Procter & Gamble. New high for the year. Took out the high of last month. Still below the highs of 2024. Sherwin-Williams. They were added right here. 2024. They were added at the high of the company. And now we're still trading below the highs of last year, below the highs of 2024. What a time for the leadership of this index, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, to put a company in the stock index when it's at its all-time high, and since then have traded lower. Just shows that even the people you might consider the most brightest, the most insight, fail. Yep. Travelers, all-time new high. United Health, way below the highs for 2024. Also, new low for the year. Visa, below the highs of last year. And Verizon broke the highs of last year, right here, way below the highs of 2019, underperforming. And Walmart. What does it manufacture? It doesn't. It's retail, all-time new high. So now you understand the stock index versus the 30 companies. That being said, I say again, the indexes are diversified. There's many sectors in the Dow 30. Higher probability of success if you maintain investing on the dips of good stock indexes versus taking on higher risk and going with a single stock that could be delisted, taken off this index. When they are taken off this index, give you an example, AT&T used to be on this index. They were taken off years ago. Walgreens used to be on this index. Their performance has gotten worse. Thank you as always for spending just a little time with me. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching.